How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to ConstantlyVariedFitness. I am super excited to get this open season started. Open Workout 17.1 has been released. Today I'm going to give you guys my strategy, some tips and tricks, some stretches you need to do, and everything I believe you need to make sure you're prepared for before starting this workout. So Open Workout 17.1 is 10 dumbbell snatches, 5 per arm, 15 burpee box jump overs, and every time you come back to the snatches, they go up by 10, up to 50, and then finish with 15 burpee box jump overs. This is a longer workout. We saw the games athletes do it live on the games site, and it took them about 12 or so minutes. That's for a games competitor athlete. I believe that this is going to be for, those games athletes, regional athletes, like a 12 to 14 minute workout. For us, mere mortals that are, competitive athletes and do comps, we might be around 15 to 16 minutes. And then for your weekend warriors that go to your gym, they might be around 18 plus minutes. So it's going to be a longer workout. It's definitely a workout that you need to pace at. It is not something that you want to just start from the get-go. Oh, it's only 10, I'm gonna bust these 10 real quick, then I'm gonna do my 15 burpee box jump overs, and then kind of cruise. That's not how you wanna think of this workout. You wanna think, how consistent can I be the whole time? And then whatever I have extra at the left, or at the end, if I have anything extra, I'm gonna put it in those 50 dumbbell snatches and those last 15 burpee box jump overs. So don't think that any part of this workout, you should be a sprint. I believe no matter where your fitness is at, you need to be keeping a nice steady pace. We saw the games athletes do it. They did not start fast. They just started and they didn't slow down. So that's the goal with this workout, is pacing. Pacing is key if you wanna do well at it. So first, covering mobility. There are several different areas I want to stretch. Even though it's a very simple workout, it's a couplet, dumbbell snatches and burpee box overs. You don't need a lot of mobility. There's no hips below parallel. There's no, overhead squats or anything like that. So it's a very simple workout, but there's a lot of things I still want to make sure that we are loose and we feel good at when we're performing these movements. So first one being ankles. I want to make sure our ankles are good because we're doing a lot of jumping. When you're reaching that extension, a lot of us are going to drive up out of our toes, and we're going to be getting into plantar flexion the whole entire time. And then also when we're doing our box jumps, we are landing on our ankles, we're doing a lot of jumping, a lot more plantar flexion. So make sure your ankles feel really good. If you have tight feet, I would definitely get on the cross ball already, just a ribbed foam roller. Roll the bottom of your feet out for maybe a minute or two on each side, because after judging some people, I saw someone that was, complaining hard because their feet were just on fire the whole time. Next thing you guys should be stretching is your hips. We want to make sure our hips are nice and loose because of what I'm going to explain in the movement efficiency later, so don't worry about that right now. We're not squatting, but it'll make sense in just a second. Also make sure you're stretching out your shoulders. You want to make sure you're getting that dumbbell up and back. There's one girl this morning that was doing it, that every time she'd kind of punch forward, and if you're not getting that dumbbell up and back, you're stacking your shoulder on top of your body. You're going to tax your shoulder that much more every single time you're pulling and you're punching. So make sure shoulders feel good. You have plenty of range of motion putting that dumbbell behind your head every time. And then the last one being your lats. Just make sure your lats are loose. It's a lot of pulling, it's a lot of here. You want to keep that dumbbell close, not let it get away. So make sure your lats are feeling good. Next, the warm up. I had a debate with another coach about this. They said maybe we should have them do some sprint intervals to get the heart rate up, make sure they feel good. And now when they start the workout, it won't be as much of a shock because they went from here and now they need to go here for the workout. I disagreed with that. My belief is that you should be, finding your pace in the warm-up to be the same exact pace that you were going to do in the workout, so nothing changes. You know exactly how you're going to feel going into it, so there's no surprises. So what I would like for everyone to do is do 3 or 4 rounds of just exactly what you need to do. Do some dumbbell snatches, do 10 dumbbell snatches, 5 on each arm, do 10 burpee box jump overs, 3 rounds of that nice and steady. Maybe go for a jog, make sure your ankles are nice and loose. Maybe do some rowing, like a 500-meter row before and after. Something, just make sure you're sweaty before, you're breathing a little heavy, but you find a pace to where okay, this is the same pace I'm gonna be keeping throughout the whole entire workout. It's a longer workout, it's not a sprint. You don't need to be warming up too much to know how it's gonna feel. Just do something to where breathing heavy, sweating, so that way you feel good, you feel like you're ready, and you know how you're going to start that workout and hopefully how you're gonna finish it while not slowing down. Next, movement efficiency. So with dumbbell snatches, make sure you look at the standards at games.crossfit.com before you take any of these efficiency tips into play, because I want to make sure you know the standards before we get into it. So that, for example, like some standards, like you can't let one dumbbell or one edge of the dumbbell touch. You have to have both heads of the dumbbell touch and pull it from there. So it's little things like that. So make sure you check that out before you implement these tips. But the first thing I want to mention is the in-air transition. So once you punch that dumbbell up overhead and you're locked out, and when you're bringing it back down, some people like to switch hands, touch, and then go into the next one. If you are a very strong athlete, if a 50-pound dumbbell is literally like nothing, like you can do 100 reps unbroken, I would suggest this technique. If you do it, the people that I don't want doing this, if you've not practiced this technique, I would highly suggest against it unless you spend a good amount of time working it before. Maybe try several out today, several out the next day, and you do it on a Sunday or a Monday where you had a lot of practice doing that movement and you feel comfortable doing it. I would not recommend doing it if it's a heavy dumbbell or you think you might be breaking a lot on that dumbbell. Reason being is because there's no point in switching in the air and transitioning if you're gonna come to the ground and then pull, switch in the air, and then pull. If you are bringing it back into the hand, it is a touch and go. So you're coming here, boom, right to the next one, boom, right to the next rep. So the reason the touch and go is it's very efficient, it'll be very fast, but because it's fast, it's gonna have you breathing very, very heavy. If that dumbbell is like a toy, it's literally nothing, it's gonna be okay, and you have a fairly good conditioning base, I suggest go ahead and do the mid-air transitions to save you a lot of time. But for me personally, I'm not gonna be doing that. I don't practice that way, and I know that if I do that way, I will start to blow up and I won't be able to keep a comfortable pace. So I will be coming down. As soon as it comes down, I push my butt back, keep my chest up, don't just fold forward. I snag it, go right to the next one. So going straight to my second tip, keep your butt down, keep your chest up, drive with your legs every time. What I don't want people to do is they keep just hinge at the butt and just pick the dumbbell up with just their back and they just throw it up every time. That's gonna fry your lower back. You're going to be hurting hard. I recommend wearing a belt for this workout, but just because you're wearing a belt doesn't mean just let technique go and just see how fast you can whip that dumbbell off the floor every time. Make sure you're keeping that spine neutral, butt back, big chest. Use those hammies, engage those hamstrings before you start and get into that big pull. And also, with that being said, again, if you're wearing a belt, don't just roll yourself up and whip your body as you're coming up. Again, keep that spine neutral, stay nice and safe about this workout. It's just a workout, make sure you're staying safe. All right, and next covering the burpee box jump overs. I believe this is where your time is going to be made on this workout. Dumbbell snatches, it's a quick movement. It takes a second and a half to complete. Yes, obviously, if you're going really, really slow and you're taking your time and you're taking a lot of breaks in between, you are going to, waste a lot of time on dumbbell snatches. But from what I've seen today, people were dying on the burpee box jump overs. So definitely find your pace. The whole goal without this whole entire workout, but especially with the burpee box jump overs, is to not stop. If you need to slow down, perfectly fine. For example, take a step out, lunge out into your burpee, lay down nice and slow, press, lunge your feet back in, and then jump up. You don't have to jump your feet back and jump your feet back in the whole entire time. Make sure you just find a pace where you can just lay down, stand up, jump over the box every time. Don't blow up over there. So the first tip I want to give with that burpee box jump over is the lunge burpee. So a lot of us have seen a lot of games athletes do this. We saw the games athletes do it live, where you, instead of coming up in your burpee, instead of bringing both your feet up, so both your feet are right next to each other, you come up, you press into a lunge, so one foot is already staggered in front of the other, and you're already close to the box, so you don't have to do any little shuffles up to the box and then jump. And that's just another way to save a little bit of extra time. It doesn't take any extra energy versus just jumping both your feet back in. And actually, I think it's a little easier because you don't have to shoot your butt up so high. You can still stay low to the ground. You can keep your center of gravity going towards the box, giving you momentum and drive to jump up and over the box. So I highly recommend doing the lunge burpee over that box. Alrighty guys, and last but not least, the mental game. Again, kind of like how I said with the beginning of this workout, it is all about pacing. It doesn't matter how fast you do the 10 dumbbell snatches. If you do 10 dumbbell snatches in 10 seconds, woo, that's dandy. But if you're taking, a bunch of sets and doing sets of 5 for the 50 dumbbell snatches, it was all for nothing. The whole point of this workout is find where your pace is, find where you can, you're breathing a little heavy, you're definitely sweating, you're hurting a little bit, but you can maintain throughout the whole part of this. Once you get to those 50 dumbbell snatches, it's flip that switch. Everything you have left, you have to pour it out there. If you're doing small sets or you're breaking it up, you're gonna not have a good score. So what I've seen people do, I've seen a girl do absolutely amazing. She stayed consistent the whole entire time. She didn't speed up at the end, but that was fine. She still had a good time of like 17, 15. I saw another guy, he was crushing the dumbbell snatches, crushing the very box jump overs, crushing the 20 dumbbell snatches, and then it slowly started declining rather than being consistent. So that's really what I want you guys to think. I want you guys to think, how smooth can I be and how few breaks can I take? The more you break up these snatches, the more you stop on these very box jump overs, that's just wasted seconds. Your goal is to, okay, I'm gonna do my 15 burpee box jump overs, take 2 deep breaths, I'm going to do 40 dumbbell snatches non-stop. If I need to slow down, if I touch, go, touch, go. That's much better for you. You're going to be much more consistent versus you doing, okay, 5 real quick, and you're dying and you're huffing and puffing and it's just a shit show. So all of a sudden then your reps can get really sloppy. You might not straddle that line with your feet and you're just gonna end up wasting reps. So make sure, guys, the whole point is pacing, stay smooth, keep the breaks to a minimal. As long as you're always working towards that next rep, you're doing good. Alright guys, and that's my strategy for Open Workout 17.1. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you guys have anything else you want to see or mention or any other tips, make sure you follow us on ConstantlyVariedFitness on Instagram. I'll be posting anything that I see or anything that I find helpful, or I'll tell you on my Insta story once I do the workout personally and give you any extra tips we find there. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Good luck with the Open, and we'll see you guys in the next video.